I used to believe that loyalty in a relationship was like gravity, invisible, but always holding things together. At least, that's what I thought until the company gala. Until I saw her, and who she came with. Let me take you back a little. Claire and I had been together for 6 years. We met at a conference, both rising stars in our respective industries. She was bold, quick-witted, and charming. The kind of woman who walked into a room and made people stop mid-sentence. I fell for her instantly. For a long time, we were solid. Laughter, long talks over wine, quiet Sunday mornings, and ambitious dreams for the future. She moved in with me after 2 years. We both climbed the career ladder fast, she in PR, me in marketing strategy. Different lanes, but similar worlds. That's when I started hearing about Erin. At first, it was innocent. Oh, Erin said the funniest thing today. Erin always knows where to find the best espresso. Erin and I had to pull a late one on the Zurich campaign. Work husband, that's what she called him. I laughed it off. Everyone has that one coworker they bond with, right? The inside jokes, the shared complaints, the friendly teasing. But then I noticed how her phone would light up with texts at midnight. How she started staying later at the office, coming home with the faintest smell of cologne I didn't recognize. When I asked about it, she was quick to respond. You don't seriously think something's going on, do you? No, I didn't. I trusted her, but something felt off. Then came the gala. Our companies had co-sponsored a major environmental branding initiative. A black tie event was being held downtown. CEOs, board members, politicians, investors, all under one shimmering crystal chandelier. Claire was the PR lead for her company's side. I was heading communications for mine. Naturally, I assumed we'd be going together. The week before the event, she casually dropped it over dinner. Oh, by the way, I'm taking Erin to the gala. My fork paused midair. What? It's a work thing, she said, avoiding my eyes. He's part of the campaign. The team thought it'd make sense. I'm part of the campaign too. You're not in our company, Dan. I put my fork down. We've always gone together. She gave a tight smile. It's just one night. One night was all it took to burn 6 years of trust to ashes. The night of the gala, I showed up alone. I wasn't required to bring a guest, but deep down, I wanted her to see me. I wanted her to know I wouldn't be reduced to the shadow in her success story. I wore my best suit, the navy one she liked, the one she picked out for my promotion dinner. I arrived early, shook hands, posed for pictures, smiled. Then the doors opened, and she walked in with him. Claire looked radiant in a deep red satin dress that clung to her like it was made for her. Her arm was looped through Erin's, who looked far too comfortable beside her. They laughed, too loud, walked too close. She kept touching his shoulder, brushing invisible lint, smiling a little too long. It wasn't just coworkers. People noticed, and people looked at me. There it was, the humiliation. She didn't just choose him. She wanted me to see it. I clenched my jaw and turned to the bar. Whiskey, neat, For most of the night, I tried to keep to my circle. Networking, making conversation, pretending my heart wasn't in my throat. But then something happened that made everything snap. One of the senior board members, a woman named Judith I deeply respected, leaned over to me during the dinner course. She whispered, "She didn't bring you." I shook my head. She sighed. "She made a poor choice, Daniel. People talk." I nodded, numb. Then she added, "You know Erin's married, right?" That made me sit upright. "What? His wife's a lawyer. Lila, I think. We met at the foundation brunch last spring." I couldn't breathe. "He's married. Claire is here parading around someone else's husband, and I'm the one being treated like an outsider." Something inside me changed in that moment. I wasn't going to shout. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to respond in a way she'd never forget. I left the gala early. No dramatic exit, just a quiet departure, one glass of wine and one unanswered text from her. I went home, did a little digging online. It didn't take long to find her. Lila Kingston, corporate attorney, married to Erin Kingston, social media sparse, but professional. On LinkedIn, she shared articles about women's rights and workplace ethics. I sent her a short, respectful message. Greater than "Hi Lila, I'm Daniel. We've never met, but I think we should talk. It's about Claire and your husband. I believe we've both been disrespected. If you're open to a civil conversation, I'd appreciate your time, Daniel. I didn't expect a reply that night, but she wrote back 10 minutes later. Greater than let's talk. We met the next day over coffee. She was poised, calm, devastatingly intelligent, and unsurprised. I had a feeling, she said, stirring her espresso. He's always working late. His text history is mostly deleted. But last week, he slipped. He called me Claire by accident. We both sat in silence for a while. Then I asked her, can I ask something strange? She raised an eyebrow. Sure. Would you be willing to come to the next board dinner with me? She tilted her head. As your guest, as my date. She smiled slowly. That would make quite a statement. I don't want to make a scene. I just want her to see that I didn't fall apart. That I moved on. Lila leaned back in her chair. I'll do it, but only if I get to kiss you in front of everyone. I choked on my drink. She grinned. Kidding, she added, but I could tell, part of her wasn't. 2 weeks passed since the gala. Claire hadn't reached out, not once. She probably thought I'd sulk in silence, nursing my wounds while she flaunted Aaron around the office like some stolen trophy. What she didn't know was that I had quietly started rebuilding myself, and forming an alliance with the one person who had even more reason to burn her world down. Lila Kingston, Aaron's wife. Lila and I met twice more before the next event. She wasn't just smart, she was strategic. Where I had emotion, she had precision. Where I had heartbreak, she had fury layered beneath icy calm. Our goal wasn't revenge, it was exposure. Neither of us wanted to stoop to their level. But we both agreed, they shouldn't be allowed to humiliate people who loved them and get away with it like nothing happened. So we planned everything. The occasion, the quarterly board networking dinner. It wasn't black tie like the gala, but still important, senior leadership from both our companies, industry journalists, key clients. It would be held at a sleek rooftop venue with glass walls and panoramic city views. Flashy, expensive, intimate. I RSVP'd with a +1. Claire wouldn't know who until we walked in. The night of the dinner, I picked Lila up in a town car. She wore a navy blue silk dress, elegant, simple, and devastating. Her hair was pinned up, her earrings small but glinting under the city lights. I wore a charcoal gray suit with a burgundy tie, her idea. She said the color combination would subtly match her lipstick and make us look like a power couple. We stepped out of the car together, smiling. Confident, united. People turned. The moment we entered the room, I saw Claire. She was near the bar with Aaron, her hand on his chest, laughing like nothing in the world could touch her. But then she looked up, and saw us. Her smile faltered. Just for a moment, I held Lila's hand as we walked past them, pretending not to notice. Aaron's face went pale. Claire blinked like she was trying to process what she was seeing. Lila whispered to me, that's one. We made small talk with board members, laughed with clients, and posed for pictures when asked. Lila was magnetic, warm, witty, and completely unbothered. People kept asking how long we'd been together. We didn't lie, but we didn't clarify too much either. We let the assumptions grow like wildfire. Every time I caught Claire looking at us, her expression darkened. Finally, she approached me. Daniel, she said, smiling too wide. Can I borrow you for a second? I turned to Lila. Do you mind? She leaned in, kissed my cheek, deliberately, and said, not at all. I'll be at the bar. Claire's eyes twitched. I followed her to the corner of the room. You brought Aaron's wife, she hissed. You brought Aaron to the gala, I replied coolly. I figured we were doing the, bring other people, thing now. You're doing this to embarrass me. No, I said calmly. I'm doing this to move on. Publicly, like you did. She clenched her fists. You're being petty. You humiliated me in front of our entire professional network. And now, you're upset that I showed up with someone who makes you uncomfortable. She didn't respond. By the way, I added, you should probably warn Aaron. Lila has a few surprises for him. Claire's face drained of color. I walked away. Back at the bar, Lila was sipping her drink and chatting with one of the senior partners from Aaron and Claire's company. She was poised, effortless. When she saw me, she gave a little smirk. How'd it go? She shook. Good. Then came the moment. It was subtle, perfectly timed. Someone clinked a glass nearby and asked for everyone's attention for a short toast. As everyone turned toward the center of the room, Lila leaned toward me and kissed me, full on the lips. Nothing scandalous. Just enough. Enough to get whispers. Enough to make Claire freeze across the room. Enough to make Aaron take 2 steps back like someone had hit him in the gut. The kiss ended. Lila smiled. Thanks, she whispered. That was satisfying. After the dinner, as we exited, one of the board members came up to me. I didn't know you and Lila were a thing, he said, smiling. Power move. I shrugged modestly. Long time coming. When I turned back, Claire was staring at us from the elevator. Erin was gone. Her eyes were unreadable, a strange mix of panic, regret, and something else. Fear, maybe, because her empire was about to collapse. The next morning, it began. Lila sent Erin a formal separation notice through her lawyer, complete.